Okay, today we'll be working on the city blocks drawing. This is drawing number 9. Please note that the scale of this drawing is 1 inch equals 100 feet. This is a civil drawing. As we can see, we have number of blocks here, block 1, block 2, that we have to divide into multiple blocks. Then we have Park A, Park B. We have to construct the shapes and create a flower bed on the center of each park. Then we need to draw a water fountain, and then we'll be done. I'm gonna show you a completed drawing. When we are finished, our drawing will look like this drawing. So block 1 has been divided into 10 blocks, 5 facing north, 5 facing south, and block 2 has been divided as shown on the handout, and then here we have to create the shapes of each park and draw the water fountain. Let's go back to AutoCAD drawing. So in our class assignments folder, there will be a DWG file with number 9 that we need to use to draw the object. Now, up to now, we've been drawing the objects in model space, and printing in model space because we've had the drawing template right in model space. Today, we're going to draw all the objects in model space one to one, then switch to plot tab, which is the layout space, also referred to as paper space. And we have a viewport here, like a window that we can show the drawing from this window with a preferred scale. In this case, the drawing scale will be 1 inch equals 100 feet. So there are a number of scales that we can select from. Okay, so for now, let's just click here outside the border. We're still in model space, and we're going to switch to model tab to start here. Right now we have 2 construction lines. We're going to use these for the start point. Once we start, we're going to get rid of them. So the object layer should be selected, and then we are going to start drawing a line. So L, enter, and here's my command line. We can follow the lines and the steps. So L, enter, specify first point. We're going to left click here. Also, before starting with drawing, we have to make sure to activate the ortho mode or hit F8. Also activate the object snap or hit F3. Right click on O snap, select the settings, and here let's make sure we select the options such as endpoint, midpoint, center, node, quadrant, perpendicular, and tangent. Okay, notice the object snap tab should be selected. Say OK, and now we can click here for start point and go to right. So I'm going to start over here. L, enter, start at this point. Move the cursor to the right, type in 400 feet, and we have to enter the foot symbol. Notice for the foot or feet, we have to enter the foot symbol, but for the inches, we don't, because AutoCAD default setting is in inches. Where do we find the foot symbol? It's the key on the left side of the enter key on the keyboard. Okay, if you see the line seems too short, don't worry. All you need is zoom in to see the correct length. This is 400, and then we're going to go up 300 feet. Look at the handout and pick the perpendicular point, pick the end point. Let's also draw a line from midpoint to midpoint. And now we are going to erase these 2 construction lines. We don't need them anymore. and let's copy, enter, CO, enter or copy, select the rectangle, enter, specify base point. We can pick this point, move the cursor to right, look at the handout. So this point goes 450 feet to the right, okay, 450 feet. Now we're going to copy both of the rectangles. Copy, enter, select the objects, enter, specify base point, and move the cursor up 350 feet. Enter, enter. All right. So now let's read the handout. In block 1, we have to divide block 1 into 10 equal blocks, 5 facing north, 5 facing south. This is the north arrow. So north is this side, south, east, and west. So back to AutoCAD drawing. In this case, since we have to have equal blocks, we can use the offset command, just offset, or type in O, enter, offset distance. Since we have to have 5 facing north, 5 facing south, 400 divided by 5 is 80 feet. Enter, and select the object, click on the side. So select, click until you are finished. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks north, 5 blocks south. So we're finished with the first block. And now block 2. We have to divide block 2 into 17 blocks. Here we have to have 8 blocks north, 9 blocks south. So back to AutoCAD. This time we can use the offset command, but then we have to maybe trim off the first line, and then we can copy it or offset it. Let's practice using the divide command for this part. Let's before dividing this line, we should change the point style. Otherwise, the points appear as dots and the line covers the dots, so we won't be able to see the dots. In order to change the point style, let's type in PD mode, enter, and 3 would be a good style. It would be like X's. Now if we type the word divide or div and then select the line, enter, then we have to enter the number of segments. So we have to have 8 north, so 8, enter. We see the X's. Since we have selected the node option here under the OSNAP settings, we will be able to snap to node and then perpendicular. Okay, so let's draw a line, snap to the node, and snap to perpendicular, enter. We can continue drawing a line, or we can type in CO to copy, which is faster. Copy, enter, select the line, enter, specify base point, and then pick next point, next point, next point, next point. Just left click on them and it should do it. So divide one more time, div. This time we're going to select this line, and number of segments will be 9, enter, line, enter, snap to the node, perpendicular, node, perpendicular, or just copy, CO, enter, select the line, enter, specify base point, and then pick the next points. Now that we are finished, we should change the point style back to 0, so the X's don't show on the drawing. So PD mode, enter, 0, enter. So let's look at the completed drawing to compare our drawing. So we have completed block 1 and block 2. Now let's work on these two. Let's draw the polygons first and then create the shapes. So AutoCAD, okay. Here, let's read information about the flower bed. In Park A, we have to construct octagon flower bed 100 feet across flats. This means, so let's see, here it says construct octagon flower bed 100 feet across flats. It means from here to here would be 100 feet. From here to here, 100 feet. This means radius is what? 50 feet. Also, across flats is referred to as circumscribed polygon. Okay, so it says octagon, it means 8 sides. It says across flats, it means circumscribed. It says 100 feet across flat, it means 50 feet radius. Okay, with vertical sides, it means these vertical sides should be parallel with the east and west sides of the curve. Okay, and then it says center of this polygon is 150 feet from north curve. It means from this north curve, 150 feet is the center of this polygon. Okay, and then it says centered east and west in original rectangular park. So it's centered. All right, so this one the same here, just it says hexagon, etc. We're going to come back to this part. So AutoCAD, and then polygon, P-O-L, enter. Number of sides, 8, because it's octagon. Center point will be right here. Pick the midpoint. Inscribed or circumscribed. So circumscribed is the option we need. We can either select this option or type in C, enter. And what else? Radius 50 feet, 50 feet. Okay, so that's all we need about this flower bed. And now let's do the polygon on this side, because it's exactly on the midpoint in 150 feet from north curve. The only difference is the radius is 75 feet. Also, radius is 75 feet. Vertical sides should be parallel with east and west sides of the park. Okay, also we have to, let's see, centered, and it's going to be inscribed because it says across corners. So across corners is inscribed. So let's go back to AutoCAD, and here polygon, P-O-L, enter. Number of sides 6. Center of polygon is right here. Inscribed, so I enter. Radius 75 feet. And it says vertical sides should be parallel with east and west sides of the park. So in this case, we can rotate. RO, enter, select the object, enter, specify base point. Let's pick the center point, and then we can move the cursor up in 90 degrees to show AutoCAD how we want to rotate this object. Just left click to rotate it. Okay. All right. Now let's work on this corner. Right now we have 90 degrees. This should be 75 degrees. This means 90 minus 75. 90 minus 75 is 15. If we rotate this line 15 degrees counterclockwise or in positive direction, we'll have the correct angle. For this part, all we know is the radius of this arc or round corner 75 feet. We can use fillet and then radius to create this round corner. Okay, so let's go back to AutoCAD, and here rotate, RO, enter, select object, enter, specify base point. Let's pick this point. Rotation angle 15, and I'll show you the angle to make sure it's 75. So dim angular, right? And select this line and select this line, place it here. It's 75 degrees. I also have minutes and seconds, but we're interested in this 75 degrees, so it is correct. Then fillet, so F, enter. Then we're going to select the radius option because we know the radius is 75 feet. Enter, select first object, select second object to create this round corner. Okay, now about this part we have to do 3 steps. First, this large arc, all we know is the radius of the arc is 250 feet. So here the radius of the arc is 250 feet, and center of it is on north curve. Okay, so what we can do is offset this line 250 feet to find the center point of this arc, and then we can draw a circle. Okay, about this part, we know the radius of this round corner is 50 feet, the radius, but it says center is 75 feet west of original block. This is the original block, and if we go 75 feet west will be the center of the circle. But it's easier, or a simple way, to offset this line 125 feet to get to this point, right? Once we have a circle in this line, we can use the fillet command and choose the radius option 50 feet to create this shape. Okay, so AutoCAD, and here offset 250 feet, enter, select the line, click here. Then let's draw a circle, pick this point, and radius is 250 feet. We can either type 250 feet or just snap to this point because this distance is 200 feet, 50 feet already. Okay, then offset one more time, 125 feet, enter, select this line, click here. All right, then fillet, radius 50 feet, select the circle, select the line, and now we need to erase and trim. So let's erase a few lines that are not connected to anything. In this case, we can select these 3 lines and delete them. Okay, also here we can either trim off or click on the line, click on the blue grip, zoom in and pick the end point, hit the escape key. Now we want to keep this part of the circle and remove the remaining part of the circle. In this case, we can type in TR for trim, enter, select this line, and then select this arc, enter. Okay, and then click on the circle to remove the rest of it. Okay, now let's look at the completed drawing that we showed you at the beginning. So we're done with part A as well. Now let's do part B and then draw the water fountain, and we'll be done. So AutoCAD drawing. So here in this part, we know that, let's zoom in a little. So in this part, we know the radius of this arc is 50 feet. Center of it is 350 feet west of curve. So we can either offset this line 350 feet west and then offset this line 50 feet, or simply draw a line from here 50 feet to right, 50 feet down to find the center point of this part. Okay. Next, this large arc, all we know about this large arc is the radius, which is 300 feet. We don't know the center point. So which method should we use to draw this part? Well, if we use circle, tangent, tangent, radius option, then we can draw this part and then trim off the rest of it. For this part, there is actually an invisible circle, and we've kept just part of it. Okay, so what we can do is read this information. It says 75 feet. Let's see. It says 75 feet radius of this part. Center is 200 feet west of curve. So we know from here to here we have 400 feet. If the center of the circle or arc is 200 feet west, this means would be right on the midpoint. So we can draw a line from midpoint up, and radius is 75 feet to find the center point of the circle. Okay, then draw a circle here, draw a circle here, then circle, tangent, tangent, radius to draw this part. Back to the AutoCAD drawing. Okay, and here let's just draw a line, enter from here, go to right 0.5, go down, oh I'm sorry, not 0.5, line, enter, pick this point, 50 feet, 50 feet, enter, and go down 50 feet, enter. Then draw a circle, pick this point, and pick this point. That's the radius of the circle. Then let's draw another line from midpoint, snap to the midpoint, and go up. We have to make sure it's really 200 feet. So for this reason, we shouldn't assume that here's midpoint, although it shows the midpoint. So line, enter, click here, go 200 feet, enter, and go up 75 feet, enter. So usually it's correct when it shows midpoint, but in this case I might have multiple line parts, multiple parts of line. In that case, in order to draw everything exactly, I'm gonna draw a line from here to here, 200 feet, go up 75 feet, and here's the center point of the circle. Then C, enter, and pick this point, pick this point. Now we have two objects that we can snap to. We can snap to tangent points. So C, enter, and select tangent, tangent, radius. You see here this capital T, it's blue. If I just type T, enter, AutoCAD automatically selects TTR option. Now I have to snap to tangent. Please make sure to snap to this part and not here. Otherwise, the arc or circle will be drawn in opposite side, opposite direction. Okay, so click here for first tangent, click here second tangent, and then we have to read the command line. It says specify radius of circle. Radius is 300 feet, 300, don't forget the foot symbol, enter. Okay, and then we need to trim off, so TR, enter. Let's select this circle and this circle, enter. We want to keep this part of the circle and remove the rest of it. Okay, so now we can trim off. Just click here. Okay, then let's erase some other parts. So here we can go to this point. Okay, it seems that I have an additional part here, but then I can erase this part. First, I usually do the erasing parts because lines that are not connected to anything cannot be trimmed off. Okay, so here I can trim. So TR, hit enter twice and click this part and click maybe this part. And the reason I cannot trim this part is because this is not connected to anything. In this case, I'm gonna undo for a second, undo. So we didn't do a good job with trimming. So here, let's erase this line, okay? And zoom in to see what's happening here, okay? Then trim. So let's do this. This part, we can select the line and pick the quadrant, okay? Then we can trim, TR, enter. We can keep this line and keep this line, or maybe just select this line, okay? And select this line, okay, enter. And now let's try to trim. I think this is better way. So keep the lines that you want to stay, and then enter, then select the parts that should be removed. Here we should zoom in, make sure we have a round corner and there isn't any pieces of line left, okay? So here it seems that I have a dot, so I'm gonna select and delete them because we want to have a good clean drawing, okay? We have one piece left, and it's this water fountain. It says construct 100 feet diameter, so the radius of this circle will be 50 feet. Fountain center is 225 feet from original north curb, center on B Street. So this is the B Street, center will be on this B Street, and it says 225 feet from original north curb. This means we can draw a line from here 25 feet to right to go to center of B Street, and then go down 225 feet to find the center point of the circle. So back to our AutoCAD drawing, and here let's draw a line, just like a reference line from this point 25 feet to right, and then we go down 225 feet down, enter, then draw a circle. Radius is 50 feet, enter, and then we're gonna select the reference lines and delete them. I'm just removing the dots that I have everywhere. Not sure how they got to be here. Okay, now we're done, but we cannot print like this. We want to print with drawing template, so we can enter the drawing title, we can type in our name and select correct scale, etc. So when the drawing template is not in model space, we should switch to plot tab, paper space, because here we have included a drawing template with a viewport that's like a window, and we're showing the drawing from this window with the correct scale. So right now the scale of this drawing is 1 inch equals 100 feet. So the scale 1 inch equals 100 feet has been selected. If we wanted to change the scale, we could select another scale, a different scale from this menu. For instance, if I select 1 to 1, the drawing disappears because it's too big to fit on a size template. And this is a viewport, so we're changing the viewport scale. So the scale of this drawing should be 1 inch equals 100 feet. Okay, and we can lock the scale, unlock viewport scale. That way when we zoom in, zoom out, the scale doesn't change. Okay, now notice we're in model space. Remember we have drawn the object in model space, then switch to plot. So although we switch to layout space, but we are still in model as long as this tab reads model. If I click on it, we can switch it to paper. So model, paper, model, paper. Okay, so we have to be in paper space to edit the title block. Another way to switch to paper would be while in model. If we double click on this gray area, we switch to paper. Okay, now we should use the ATE command, attribute edit, and select the title block to enter the name. Please type in your name, class ID is shown, class time, etc. Okay, so that's it. I hope it helps. Please let me know if you have any questions.